From day one of the Copper and Cloves Cafe, we had two clear bestsellers emerge. One is our coconut cinnamon coffee, and the other is our banana walnut bread. And lots of people kind of order both together for a really indulgent breakfast or a lovely comforting kind of afternoon snack. It's kind of like the ultimate comfort food. We bake the banana bread every morning. It feels indulgent, but it's full of whole ingredients sourced from India. So we have like real bananas, walnuts, and chunks of Mason & Co chocolate. When it's baking in the morning, the whole cafe is filled with the most amazing smell. And when customers wander in, they're always asking like, what is that delicious aroma? And I think that's actually why we sell out every day. And when you add that to the smell of like freshly ground coffee, because we grind the beans for each cup to order, it's almost like too good. Our coconut cinnamon coffee is like our vegan latte option. So it's basically an AeroPress blended with coconut milk, cinnamon, and sweetened with jaggery, and everybody loves it. We source our coffee from Chikmagalur from a plantation called Cacao, which is run by one of the most passionate people I've worked with, Pranoy. So when we decided to open a cafe, Pranoy was one of the first people I spoke to, and Cacao was the first supplier that we secured.
At Cacao, all that we grow are in biodiverse conditions, and so the coffee, which we're primarily producers of, grow under the shade of indigenous trees mainly, but also create spices like cassia cinnamon.
There's no doubt that we wanted to serve Cacao coffee because I know how much thought and care Pranoy puts into the growing, harvesting, and roasting of the coffee. So we wanted to do something special for you guys with these two bestsellers. But for that, we have to take a little trip.
I'm very excited about this bus. I'm very impressed with their efficiency. They called us to tell us that the bus is like 20 minutes away.
This is the best bus I've ever been on. We are in Pondicherry. Pondicherry is just the best. We spend most of our time just like walking around the beautiful streets and exploring on our trusty bikes and eating the most amazing food and drinking some really good coffee. Okay, I can't keep it a secret anymore. We are collaborating with Mason & Co to create two new, really special chocolate bars. So we're actually heading to Oroville in order to visit the Mason & Co factory and see how it's all going to be made. And I'm so excited. To help you understand all about Mason & Co, you'll first have to meet Mansi.
Hi, I'm Mansi. Welcome to the Mason & Co Chocolate Factory. I head marketing and partnerships at Mason & Co. We are a dark chocolate, Indian origin, organic certified, farmer direct artisanal chocolate maker. We started making chocolate in 2013. Jane and Fabian, our founders, spent about a couple years before that sort of looking for farmers, trying to identify good quality cacao in India to make bean to bar chocolate. So we make dark chocolate. We don't use any dairy or any animal products, so we're a vegan company. Our factory is entirely staffed by women from surrounding villages that have been trained by our amazing factory manager Saraswati, who was trained by Jane and Fabian. We are in the roasting room, and I'm about to introduce you to our factory manager, Miss Saraswati. Wanda, please. Hi. So she's going to help us with the roast, please.
Mansi took us through all the different processes that are involved in making like every bar of Mason & Co chocolate. And the smell of roasted cacao in that factory was insane. Learning about their bean to bar philosophy really helped us understand how intricate each and every process is.
So this is a photo of a cacao tree from Idukki, one of our farmers in Idukki. And you can see these teeny tiny little flowers. They're less than an inch big. That's what actually turns into cocoa pods. So we're now in the sorting and winnowing room. This is where the beans are hand sorted before they're roasted. And once they're roasted, they go into this cracking machine where they're broken up and they expose the nib on the inside. After the cracking, the ladies have to hand winnow in 3 different rounds to ensure that the shell and the nib are separated and that we're only using the nib to grind into chocolate. And it smells so amazing. It smells acidic, it smells brown, it smells warm, it smells like
Smell
chocolate.
at this point is so nice. I feel like some brands kind of throw around the word artisanal, but with Mason & Co, that's just not the case. Like, I was really struck by how much care went into every process and by the level of expertise of their all-female team and how many of those processes were actually done by hand. Watching the tempering of the chocolate was my favorite part. It was like so mesmerizing to watch.
So behind me is our cold room. This is where we keep all of the chocolate. We're currently making about 19 flavors of chocolate. We've got a whole bunch of custom bars in there as well. The temperature in here is perfection.
It's perfection. I mean, we've been
couch
so
in here.
hot for the entirety of the trip. Now I'm like, oh, I'm actually a little cold. After spending the whole day at the Mason & Co factory in Oroville, I am just clearer than ever that I'm so happy that Mason & Co are our sole supplier of chocolate and cacao in the cafe. And I'm even more excited that we're collaborating with them on this project. So working out how to actually translate these 2 dishes into chocolate bars has been a process that's been going on for a while now. Mansi loved the idea of using the coconut coffee and the banana bread as the basis for 2 new bars. But actually like developing the recipe, trying out which flavors, which key elements need to be in there. And of course, like sourcing the right ingredients for the bars is just as important as how we source for the cafe. So of course, Cacao will be supplying the cinnamon and the coffee direct from the plantation. Honestly, if you had told me that I would be taste testing chocolate bars as part of my working day, I just wouldn't have believed you. I mean, it's the dream. So after the most fun tasting session, we finalized on like the chocolate percentage, the specific ingredients, and Mansi just took all that forward and created the most amazing bars. So the final step was designing the packaging, and we knew we wanted to create something really cool and different for you guys. Pavia does these really amazing illustrations, and I kind of knew I wanted that to be the highlight of the design. But kind of reiterating the drawings and then designing the screens and just creating the perfect packaging was a really lengthy process, but also fun. Once the designs were finalized, we went to visit the screen printers back in Pondicherry. So this was being done in a studio, like on the roof of the printer's house, but again with an amazing all-female team of craftspeople. And each screen is actually printed by hand, and aligning each screen is really time consuming, and it again just showed like the level of care and detail that goes into this rather than it being mass produced. Our trip to Oroville and Pondicherry was just so enriching. We met so many amazing people and we were so aligned in terms of values in every way, and it just really made me reflect that really good products are not just good branding. Like, they are really conscious sourcing, collaboration, and just making like mindful decisions all the little steps along the way. So back in Bangalore, we've been facing a lockdown which has slowed everything right down, but we were determined to get these to you in time for the gloomier monsoon weather. These chocolate bars would just be perfect for those rainy afternoons. Okay, so now you know the whole story. It's time to see the chocolates, because they're finally here. Believe it or not, they do taste as good as they look. The walnut banana loaf and the coconut cinnamon latte are now available online, so go buy them. These are so special to us, and I'm just so excited to be able to share these with you. Link is in the description.